Once every century, the red moon rises, casting its blood-red glow over the land. With it comes a curse, one that no one can escape. A curse that turns men into monsters, and monsters into nightmares. For 3 nights, the moon climbs higher, and the transformation begins. The beasts are coming and no one is safe. In the kingdom of Eldralor, the people huddle in fear, praying for a miracle. The prince, Arinder, knows there is only one way to stop the madness. But the path to salvation is a dangerous one. It leads into the Forbidden Lands, where ancient creatures lurk and time itself seems to bend. He will need to face not only the monsters that await but the darkness growing inside him. This is the tale of a prince's desperate quest to save his kingdom, a ragtag group of rebels with hidden secrets, and the deadly curse that could undo everything they fight for. Welcome to The Curse of the Red Moon. Prince Arinder stood atop the castle tower, staring at the crimson moon rising high in the sky. Its glow bathed the kingdom in an eerie, unsettling light. The wind whispered through the trees below, carrying with it the unmistakable scent of impending doom. Arinder's kingdom, once peaceful and thriving, was on the brink of destruction. He could already hear the cries of his people as they barricaded themselves in their homes, praying for safety that would never come. The red moon had risen for 3 nights, and the transformation was inevitable. The beasts once human, now twisted and maddened by the curse would soon be upon them. The kingdom had suffered this curse for centuries, and each time, hope dwindled with the passing moon. But Arinder could not accept this fate. He would not stand by as his people were torn apart. A soft knock broke his thoughts. Turning, he saw his most trusted advisor, the elderly mage Thalric, entering the room. "Your Highness," Thalric said, bowing slightly, his voice trembling with unease. "I bring news from the seer." Arinder turned back to the window, his jaw clenched. "Is it about the artifact?" he asked, his voice low and desperate. Thalric nodded solemnly. "Yes. The seer has confirmed its existence. The Heartstone, an ancient relic said to have the power to break the curse. But it lies deep within the Forbidden Lands, where few have dared to tread. The journey will be perilous, and even with the Heartstone in hand, there is no certainty it will work." Arinder's heart skipped a beat. The Heartstone. He had heard the tales, but until now, they had seemed like nothing more than stories to keep hope alive. But now, with the curse descending upon them, it was their only chance. He turned to Thalric, his resolve hardening. "I will go." Thalric's eyes widened in alarm. "Your Highness, it is too dangerous." "You cannot." "I will go," Arinder repeated, his voice unwavering. "If there is even the slightest chance of saving my people, I will not sit idly by. The beasts are coming, and I will not let them destroy us." The next morning, Arinder gathered a small group of rebels, each one with their own reason for joining the quest. Kaelin, a skilled thief with eyes sharp as a hawk's; Joran, a battle-hardened warrior marked by a scar that told a tale of countless battles; and Talitha, a former scholar who had abandoned her studies long ago in search of redemption. Together, they formed an unlikely group, each harboring their own secrets. Yet they shared one common goal: to end the curse. Kaelin was the first to speak as they prepared to leave the castle. "Do you even know where the Forbidden Lands are?" Her voice was low, filled with suspicion. She adjusted the hood of her cloak, glancing over her shoulder as if expecting something to emerge from the shadows. Arinder nodded. "Yes. The Heartstone lies deep within them, but to reach it, we must pass through the Dead Forest, the Black Hills, and the Caverns of Mourning. It's a long journey, and the dangers will be unlike any we've faced before. But I believe we can do this." Joran grunted, adjusting his axe. "I've heard stories about the Black Hills. Anyone who goes in, never comes back. It's not just the beasts. The land itself is cursed." Talitha, her face pale from weeks of worry, nodded grimly. The Black Hills warp time and space. The air is thick with madness. Even if we make it that far, we may never find our way out. But we must try, Arinder said, his voice firm. The kingdom's future depends on it. The journey was long and fraught with danger. The group ventured first into the dead forest, where the trees were twisted into grotesque shapes, their limbs reaching out like skeletal hands. An unnatural fog rolled through the underbrush, obscuring their vision and making each step feel uncertain. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the rustling of unseen creatures. Kaelin led the way, her sharp eyes constantly scanning their surroundings. "We should be cautious," she whispered. "I've sensed something watching us for hours." Arinder's hand instinctively went to the hilt of his sword. "We must keep moving. The longer we stay here, the more the curse will take hold." The deeper they journeyed, the more the forest seemed to close in on them. The trees whispered, the air felt thick with malevolent energy, and even their footsteps seemed heavier. Kaelin remained unshaken, but Talitha's once dominant intellect had started to fade. She often looked distant, as if her mind wandered far beyond the present. Joran, too, seemed to have lost some of his confident edge. Only Kaelin remained unaffected, her grace and calmness seeming almost unnatural in such a place. The true horrors of their quest revealed themselves when they entered the Black Hills. Jagged peaks rose like broken teeth against the sky, and the air was heavy with the stench of decay. The ground beneath their feet was soft, as though it too had begun to decay. Growls and distant roars echoed through the hills, reminding them that the beasts were not far behind. By the time they set camp, Arinder's mind was consumed with thoughts of the red moon, climbing ever higher in the sky. Sleep was elusive, and rest seemed impossible. It was only at dawn that the true test came. A creature, twisted and half-human, emerged from the shadows. Its eyes glowed with an unnatural hunger, its body grotesque with fur and claws. The beast lunged toward them with a blood-curdling roar. Joran charged forward with his battle axe raised high, but the beast was fast. It struck with claws that tore through his armor, knocking him to the ground. Talitha cast a bolt of fire, but the creature shrugged it off like water. Kaelin darted in with her daggers, landing blow after blow, but nothing seemed to pierce its monstrous hide. Arinder's heart pounded as he saw his companions struggle. With a cry, he leapt into the fray, his sword gleaming with the last of his hope. The blade met the beast's throat, and it collapsed with a final, tortured scream. The battle was over. Joran groaned as he got back to his feet. "That's just the beginning," he said grimly, wiping blood from his face. "We've only seen one. There are more out there." As they pressed on, the further they ventured into the Black Hills, the more time itself seemed to twist. Arinder felt the very air growing thicker, heavier, as though the land itself was resisting their passage. Talitha had stopped speaking altogether, her face drained of color. Kaelin, too, seemed distracted, her guilt heavy in her eyes. The weight of the curse was beginning to break them all. At last, they reached the caverns of morning, a place so dark that even the sunlight seemed to shrink away from it. Within the depths of the caverns lay the Heartstone, but it was guarded by something ancient, a creature older than time itself. Arinder stepped forward into the darkness, but as he did, he realized something far more dangerous than the creature awaited him. The true battle was not against the beast guarding the Heartstone. It was the battle within himself. The curse of the Red Moon was not just on the land, it had taken root within him, too. As the darkness closed in, Arinder understood. The only way to end the curse was not to fight the creatures of the land but to confront the darkness within his soul. With a cry, Arinder raised the Heartstone high, and the world erupted in a blinding light. When the light faded, the Red Moon was gone. The beasts were gone. The kingdom was saved. But Arinder knew this victory would not last. The curse would return. It always did. And when it did, he would be ready to fight it once more.